Somos Berenice Flores y Sebastián Iguiluz y este es el podcast EntreprenUp de Keep It Up Show, un espacio creado por dos emprendedores en el que buscamos traer gente chingona e increíble que está constantemente cambiando la forma de ver y hacer las cosas. Cada martes, jueves y sábados podrás escuchar un nuevo episodio donde encontrar información clave que te ayude a impulsar tus ideas, tu empresa, pero sobre todo, tus sueños. No importa qué te dediques, keep it up. Bienvenidos a un nuevo episodio de The Keep It Up Show. Antes de empezar, si nos estás escuchando por YouTube, ayúdanos con un like, dándole clic a la campanita y suscribiéndote al canal. Y en Spotify, dándonos seguir. Hoy tenemos de invitado a tal Tsfany, CEO del Ayn Rand Institute, plataforma que comparte las ideas, memorias y escritos de la novelista filósofa Ayn Rand. Hablaremos con Tal sobre la ciencia detrás de la felicidad, la liberación que viene con tomar control de tu vida y la importancia de encontrar lo que te hace único.
Hola, muy buenas tardes y bienvenidos a otro episodio de The Keep It Up Show. Aquí Sebastián Iguiluz, cofundador y CEO de EntreprenUp, y estoy con Tal Tsfany, CEO de Ayn Rand Institute. Por el resto de la entrevista estaré hablando en inglés, entonces perdonen mi inglés, pero bueno, voy a cambiar ahora para darle la bienvenida a Tal. Hi Tal, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Sebastián?
Fine, thanks. Really glad to have you here.
I'm happy to be here, and I'm remember fondly our meeting in Mexico City in front of a lot of entrepreneurs. That was a great day.
Yeah, me too. Actually, for the people that are listening to us, Tal, along with Jaron and I, were the first speakers of our event Mastermind. We've done a lot of sessions after that, but the first one was like, I have this idea, you guys are coming, can we try this? And you guys were cool enough to give us a chance to make it.
It was really nice.
Thank you very much. So first of all, Tal, for the people that aren't familiar with the Ayn Rand Institute, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah. So the Ayn Rand Institute is named after the author and the philosopher Ayn Rand. She was a philosopher who wrote famous novels, best-selling novels of The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged and others. And later on developed a whole philosophy called the philosophy of Objectivism. She called it the philosophy of Objectivism. It's basically the idea of understanding human life and its relation to reality in a whole new way, very integrated way, for me, very scientific way that is based on reason. And for me, it's a guide for happiness. So our institute was established in 1985 by her intellectual heir, the philosopher Dr. Leonard Peikoff. And for 35 years, we've been promoting her books. We've been promoting her ideas. We have a mobile app that I really highly recommend with all of her lectures, all of Leonard Peikoff's lectures, called the Ayn Rand University. And we have a thriving YouTube channel, the Ayn Rand Institute. We have, by the way, the app was just translated to Spanish. We're kicking off the Spanish translation of the app this week. So everything's going to be in Spanish. So if you want to know more about life, about yourself, get inspired by her novels and her ideas, then those are the resources. And we're a non-for-profit. We have a center in Latin America based in Argentina, managed by Maria Marti. She's doing an amazing job. And we're trying to come every year. So we will try to be in November, I think, November 2021. We'll try to come back to Mexico City and do an Ayn Rand conference. Hopefully with everything COVID will be good by then. But that's the idea. So that's the Ayn Rand Institute.
Perfect. So just to make it as clear as possible, for the Ayn Rand Institute and for you, what is happiness?
Well, I would say what Ayn Rand said about happiness, she had a very clear definition for it. But maybe before I go to the definition, happiness for me is what you and I and everyone as humans need to pursue. When a cat or a dog are born, they know exactly what to do with their lives. They have the philosophy imprinted in them. Think about a squirrel in the forest. It knows that it needs to find nuts and bury it in the ground and save it for the winter and find a hole in a tree. They know what they need to do. They need to reproduce. What does a human need to do? How do we make ourselves thrive, be the best we can? It's very fuzzy. We're taught some things that are very clear, like science, mathematics, right? Everything is clear. When it comes to the inner world, everything is fuzzy. It's philosophy. Maybe religion will tell us what to do. Maybe, my parents will tell me what to do. Maybe the culture. And what Ayn Rand is trying to do is say, no. The same clarity that we have in the world of science or the outside world, we can bring to the inside world. And she has a beautiful definition for happiness. She says, happiness is a state of consciousness which is a result of the achievement of one's values. So if you break down this sentence, what she's saying is, first you need to know what values are and choose them carefully, rationally. Once you know what you want, then you pursue them, you try to get those things, and the outcome of this process of action is an elevated mental state that is a prolonged mental state. It's not I'm depressed on Tuesday and I'm happy on Wednesday. No, it's I'm a happy person because I know what I want and I'm working to achieve it. And what I want is rational. It's not let's do drugs all day or play video games, because that's not what a rational person would choose to do. And I can explain what's the difference between rational values or not. And then I'm effective in pursuing them. I'm not failing over and over again. If you see people that are happy, and I'm a very happy person, you can see energy, you can see focus, productiveness, and a lot of other qualities that define what is required in order to be a happy human being. So I think happiness is a very misunderstood concept. And it's so sad because a lot of people live their whole lives not knowing what happiness is, how to go about achieving it, and they never really experience that elevate. They try to get this pleasure or that pleasure, have sex, which is a momentary pleasure, or do drugs, which is a momentary pleasure, or do something by whim, by feeling, it's because I feel this way. They don't have a plan. When entrepreneurs open companies, the first thing they do, they write a mission statement. This is what the company is trying to do. We're going to change the world of water bottles. I don't know what it is that you're doing, right? We never write a mission statement for our lives. And how can you know where to go if you don't know who you are and what you want? So it's like throwing a dart in the dark, you don't know where you're aiming. So Rand's view on happiness is based more on the Aristotelian view of happiness, which is we can know reality and we can achieve it because we as human beings, what we do is we conceptualize the world into words, and then we imagine, we can create a pen, we can create a microphone, we can create a computer, and then we turn those concepts into a reality. So gives you a little bit of a hint. We can go deeper, but of what is our squirrel. Our nuts that we bury in the ground is basically concepts and turning them into products, services, things that we can create in this world. And that process gives you happiness.
Do you have any tips? I know it sounds like a self-help book or coaching program, but do you have tips to help someone realize what makes them happy and how to achieve that?
Number one tip in the world, you take this thing, you take a notebook, you write on the top, what do I want and why? You sit every evening before you go to sleep and you write what was good about today, what did I like about today, and you try from this introspection to find the things that you love about life. And over time you will answer the question, what do I want? that is step number one, because people think, like I ask you, Sebastian, who are you? What will you tell me?
I'm, I don't know. I'm a good person who likes to help people, and that is really concerned with family and friends.
You just gave me an answer that any other person in the world can give me. I asked you, who are you? What makes you, you?
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Right, exactly. You proved my point. You are the only Sebastian that will ever live that is you. You are a unique human being. There's no one like you in the world. You have a very unique consciousness. And when you die, the world dies with you, meaning you will never be able to experience. Your goal is to understand this, you. What makes Sebastian happy? What makes, like, I don't know, for some reason, I guess you enjoy talking to people like me because you're doing it. Now that should have been your answer, meaning, look, like, let's fast forward 6 months from now and we have this discussion again after you introspected on a daily basis. You would answer me something like that. Hi Tal, my name is Sebastian. I'm very clear about what I want. I love ideas, I love entrepreneurship, and I love talking to people about talking to people about entrepreneurship. I love to get their tips and their tricks, and I love to put them in a product and then serve it to people. And I enjoy the feedback so much from the people. And what I want to do, what I'm totally focused on doing, is growing my channel and creating my own version of I don't know, self-help or whatever you want to call it. That would be okay. Now I know who you are. If you tell me I'm a good person, I love my family, and I'm concerned with, there's nothing unique about that. So for me, tip number one, take a pen, not a keyboard. Take a nice notepad. Start writing yourself on the paper. Who am I? What did I love to do when I was a kid? What are those things that make me happy? When am I really happy? What makes me sad? What people I like around me? What people I don't like around me? And then over time, if you fill this whole thing, right, it will be the book of Sebastian, and you will see Sebastian in the book. The reason why you need the book, the notepad, is because your mind cannot hold it. We are very limited. We have a very small RAM, as they say, rapid access memory. So you need a storage. And this, when you read it. Now, I recommend doing it in two ways. One is write whatever comes to your mind first. Wake up the next day, or I usually do it at the end of the week when I say, what did I write this week? And then I summarize it like a psychologist, right? Like, what am I seeing? For me, this is step number one. Actually, it's the starting point of a journey towards happiness. If you don't do this, you're walking all around. You might bump into happiness once in a while. You might miss it. So, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your secret origin? How did you find yourself in the Ayn Rand Institute? What did Objectivism grab you up as a philosophy?
It's a great question. I was 40 years old. I was a VP in a huge company, a software company, was doing really well, great salary, family, everything's good. You ask me how my life is, like, everything's good. And then I read Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, and it blew my mind. It's like I'm thinking about life in a whole wrong. I don't know who I am. I don't know how I ended up here. I don't know why I'm in software. Never chose it. It chose me because it was good money. I did it back in Israel, moved to the United States by chance because they relocated me here. I was not leading my life. I was leading somebody else's life. And that's how it felt. Like, how they say you have a midlife crisis. I think we have midlife crises because we end up in the middle of the life looking backwards saying, how did I end up here? And then you're looking to the end of your life and you say, it's going to be the same. So now I'm depressed, right? So it was not a midlife crisis because Ayn Rand for me just opened the window and I jumped off out the window. What I did is I started using her philosophy to better my life by understanding who I am, what my values are, how to deal with reality effectively. So the first thing I did, I quit my job. after reading The Fountainhead, actually. I joined my brother-in-law in growing a software company from a startup to a big company, and we sold it in 2018. While I was doing that, I introspected and realized that I don't want to do software. I want to do education and philosophy and what we're doing right now. I really enjoy this. You can see my energy level, right? But I made a mistake and then went to another software company just to run out of gas. I ran out of gas. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So one day I just stood up and I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I quit. And the Ayn Rand Institute was an organization. I was a donor. I was getting involved. I went to their conferences, and they offered me the CEO position. I said, "Are you crazy? I know nothing about non-for-profits, but I can't tell you how satisfied, fulfilled I am with running this. I love it. I don't know what I'm going to do next. I wrote a book, a children's book. I'm writing another book. I can give you my mission statement. It's very clear. You know, one of the things that we talked about before is that, so I love philosophy, ideas, writing, and communicating with people. And that's what I want to do for the rest of my life."
As you said, it's a weird fit going from the software industry to a nonprofit. But at the same time, what does someone from that industry in particular bring to the table that possibly people that have been a long time there don't bring to the table? What does make Tal a unique CEO and the perfect CEO for the Ayn Rand Institute?
I bring knowledge of technology, of business. The first thing I did is like, what are we selling here? So I tried to, in a way, productize the most abstract set of the organization, because the organization is promoting ideas, philosophy. But if you want to do something concrete, you have to say, okay, let's concretize it, let's productize it into what are we selling. So I defined a funnel of, first we need to create awareness, then we create understanding, then we create agreement or acceptance of the ideas. So if that's the funnel, what products do we offer in each one of the steps? So we launched, we decided to move all of our content from being a paid content to free content, like a Wikipedia model. Help me keep it free. So our donations went up dramatically because people love supporting you when you say, look, young people can't afford paying hundreds of dollars for pieces of content. Let's give it away for free, and you pay me when you're older. And that worked really well. We launched a mobile app that really crushed it, meaning it was downloaded 50,000 times all over the world other than North Korea. I bring to the table a lot of business knowledge, marketing knowledge, product development knowledge, and management. I'm a good manager, I think. I'm very driven. And so when you run really fast, the team that is with you is like, oh, we need to run with him, because otherwise, there'll be a gap. So I run really fast. I work really hard, and I regard what we're doing as a company that has success metrics. For instance, I'll give you an example. How do you measure success of an organization that sells ideas? I decided that the leading metric to start with was going to be hours of consumption of content on our mobile app, our YouTube channel, and our campus on web. You aggregate all of that. And we started optimizing, and now you see an exponential growth of consumption of our courses, our Ayn Rand lectures. We're trying to promote more books to high schools. So those are the metrics I use, and they grow exponentially because they give you a very good grounding in reality and very specific focus. In the end of the day, when you're talking to your marketing team or your product team, it's like, did we grow this week or not? Did we get more hours? Why not? Do we need to produce different webinars, different topics? What actually worked? What attracts people in? Is there a conversion from that type of content to this type of content? To give you an example, one of our intellectuals wrote a piece about the false promise of Stoicism, because the whole Silicon Valley now is, all about Stoicism. And he wrote, no, it's just another primitive philosophy. And before you know it, we get a spike of traffic. So it's like, oh, okay, let's write more things about that, because what we're optimizing for is for people to watch more. So I got a lot of a lot of colleagues in the world of non-for-profit, and I find that not a lot of them have this focus on metrics and getting results and pushing, because you can try this and you don't know if it works, and then you try another thing and you try another thing, and you never know what you're doing unless you have a guiding metric. So I think that's what I bring to the table.
Someone that's been on both sides of the one industry that's purely for profit and one that's non-profit, do you think that the software industry will be benefited by having more people connected to these ideas from the Ayn Rand Institute or similar philosophies?
Anyone in any industry should engage with the ideas, not just software. What I love about the Silicon Valley and software in particular, it attracts very rational people who want to understand and think logically. The tragedy is that a lot of them, if you see the leaders of the Silicon Valley, are completely wrong when it comes to philosophy. They get the science really right. They are amazing thinkers. I've met several unbelievable people in my journey who are great thinkers. But when it comes from the inside, thinking about what is good for me, what is good for society, then they get it completely wrong. And when you have a big engine that is pointing in the wrong direction, you can do a lot of damage. So I think a lot of leaders think about what's going on with Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg and Warren Buffett, all saying, oh, we're going to donate 99% of everything we own to... Why? What did you take from anyone? Why do you owe anyone? You created all of this wealth by yourself. Steve Jobs and Bill Gates created so much value for all of our lives, right? That I don't need their money. Nobody needs their money. They can keep their billions because they earned it. For me, every dollar bill in my wallet is a thank you note from someone, because I've exchanged value for value and it was a win-win. So the more money I have, the better person I am, the richer I am, unless of course I stole it or I got it from government or whatever that is, or through force. So I would say a lot of smart people that are very successful and think that if they're going to get money, they're going to be happy, should learn that in order to be a complete human being, you have to master the inside and the outside. We are very good in understanding the outside because this is what science is for. That's what they teach you, physics and math and chemistry and biology. Nobody really good, other than us, of course, in the Institute, is teaching good science that is introspective. This is why I told you, if you write this on a daily basis, you will start to become an introspective scientist. In a way, you develop the skills of introspecting what's going on in my own mind. What do I like? What are feelings? When do I trigger my feeling? When are my feelings getting triggered, and so on. So any human being can be contributed by understanding those ideas. Unfortunately, our educational system and the culture around us are not guiding us towards those areas, because, oh, it's all fluff. Who knows what's right? Don't go and learn the humanities because it has nothing to do with reality. Ayn Rand's philosophy has everything to do with reality. Everything. Before you go and learn science, you have to learn the philosophy of science. Why is 2 + 2 equals 4? Is it equals 4 today and tomorrow? Can you be sure of that? Right? And so for me, it's really a passion to explain to people that in order to be a whole human being, your podcast is about entrepreneurship, which I love, because for me, entrepreneurship is taking responsibility for your life. How do you know? How do you know where to go, what to do? You need that foundation in order to be successful in life and to be a great entrepreneur. So, yeah.
On these philosophies and ideas that you have on the Institute, have you been surprised by the fact that from many different ages they still get the message and that it's universal, and that maybe I imagine that when you are a boy or a girl, it's normal that you don't know exactly what you want in life, but that you realize that there are 70, 80 years old people that still don't know what they want to do with their lives.
Yeah, so it's completely true. When you're a kid, you don't know what you want. You're just busy having fun. But let me give you a story that will illuminate how important it is to develop an introspective mind from a very young age. When I did a year of introspection, I realized that on my list of values is I love writing, I love speaking, I love playing my drums. I'm a drummer. I love to play the drums. I became a very good drummer when I was young. I love racing cars. Okay. Then one time I called my mother and I say, hey, Mom, tell me a little bit when I was young. What did I do? She said, oh, when you were 3 years old, you took the pots in the kitchen and you banged on them all the time. When we were outside, you would close your eyes and try to guess the make and model of the engine of the car that were passing by with your eyes closed. And you couldn't wait for Friday because every Friday there was a social hour in the classroom where you can read your songs, you can read your poems, you can make a play. You love that. So already as a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 10-year-old, I should have known that this is what I love. Those are the things that I'm attracted to. I had to forget all of that and remind myself when I was 40 that I forgot the kid who loved playing the drums, who loved racing cars or loved cars, and who loved speaking and writing. And I went to technology because it would make me more money. If you're a parent, what I think is most important to develop with your child is ask them, what do you like? What did you like about this? Do you want to do more of this? Do you want to play the drums? Do you want to play another instrument? Okay, what do you love about cars? And so on and so forth. So respecting the fact that you are a human being that loves specific things and holding those things dear to you. Like those are my diamonds. Like cars and drumming and music and philosophy and podcasts make my life better. There are other things that make my life miserable. Washing the dishes, doing all kinds of errands that I hate, right? All kinds of work that is very, very detailed and minute, and that bores me. I love big ideas. I love strategy, right? So understanding what you like and what you don't like, and respecting yourself enough to say, I want more of this and less of that, not because my mother told me so. So I see that, I love working with kids or talking to kids because kids have the potential to do it. When they're much older, it's so hard because even if they appreciate that they're not doing what they're doing, they will tell you why they have to. Oh, I have a mortgage, I have kids, they will give you all the excuses of why they're not pursuing their own happiness because of layers and layers of duty that they accumulated over time.
So to start wrapping this up, in the Keep It Up show, we ask every single guest to tell us their 3 do's and 3 don'ts for entrepreneurs. Basically 3 things that they should do and 3 things they shouldn't do. So what are yours?
So you asked me that and I chose to prepare something. So how about I do a do and a don't 3 times?
Perfect.
That's good for you? I would say the first do is choose your passion. Choose your passion. Like get to want something so bad. It's like, wow, if I close my eyes and I imagine this happening, that will be worth my life. Because if you really find a passion, you're going to throw your life on it. You're going to spend more time on this thing than you're with your family, with your friends, with doing anything else. Productive work is the one highest goal of a human being and takes most of this time. So make sure that your productive activity is a passion and have a vision of it. Don't leave other people's expectation. Don't live up to other people's expectations. If your mother wanted you to be a lawyer, don't be a lawyer because you wanted. Be a lawyer because you want to and because you're passionate about law. Another do is choose positive people around you. People are either a great value to you or they drain you, right? The one thing that people don't realize is if you want to make big decisions in your life, don't talk to your family because they are they're very connected to you and they share your risk. If you want to know if to do something or not do something, ask a smart stranger because they're going to be objective and they want you to be happy. Your mother wants you to be happy, but she doesn't want you to take too many risks. And that sometimes distorts the whole. So know when to consult with other people, not just family and close friends. And make sure that you have positive people in your life. Choose people that elevate you, that contribute to you. Don't compromise. Don't compromise. You have one life to live. It goes fast. I was a 6-year-old like a minute ago, and look at me, I'm 50 years old now. And in 30, 40 years old, I'm going to die. So you don't have a lot of time. There's no time to compromise. It goes fast, and you don't want to find yourself at the age of 80 saying, oh my God, I regret not doing A, B, and C, and D. Pursue your passions relentlessly. You fail, you try again. You fail, you try again. You fail, you try another plan. You always keep introspecting. How can I make it happen? How can I make it happen? Because life is complicated. If it was easy, it would be sad. Because I think the joy and the happiness comes from the challenges, the constraints, right? So embrace the constraints. And if you fail, try again. Try a different way. And never give up. Never give up. When you give up, you basically die. So I know it's easier said than done. There are a lot of questions. My central purpose in life is to help people answer those questions. How can I become the hero version of myself? I mean, with the cape and flying in the sky. Really, totally hero version of myself. If I close my eyes, no constraints. Forget your family, forget your country, forget politics, forget world hunger, forget COVID, forget any constraint that you think about. Close your eyes, tell me what a perfect day will be, and then go get it. And by the way, you might find that you have no idea what your day looks like. And so your first step is like build a perfect day in your mind. Have a vision. So those are my do's and don'ts.
Well, if they wanted to learn a little bit more about you, get in contact, learn a little bit more about what you guys do in the Ayn Rand Institute, where can they find you on social media?
So they can find the Ayn Rand Institute on aynrand.org. We have, again, a thriving YouTube, and I really highly recommend the mobile app, the Ayn Rand University. You can find it, again, on all app stores, Google. Me specifically, I'm just starting my journey as a content creator. I have a Facebook. You can, I have a very unique name. That's a good thing. Tsfany, Tsfany. You search on Facebook, you'll find me. So I post there, and I'm starting soon a podcast. I'm in the process of writing a book. So and when it comes out, and hope to do many more of those.
Perfect. Do you have your podcast released yet? Or?
No, not yet. We're working on it.
Okay, perfect.
And I'll tell you when it's launching.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Well, Tal, I just want to thank you a lot for your time. Hope you had as good a time as us. And as we say on this program, keep it up.
Thank you very much.
Si te gustó el episodio de hoy, recuerda que puedes escucharnos en Spotify y YouTube, y para más herramientas de estos temas, estamos en Instagram y Facebook como @EntreprenUp. Si quieres seguir a nuestro invitado de hoy, te dejamos en la caja de descripción sus redes sociales y datos de contacto. Gracias por escucharnos y nos vemos en el próximo episodio. Recuerda, keep it up.